Hi, it's Natalie Wieland here, and in this very strange time, I'm being contacted by lots of people, whether they're consultants or team leaders or lecturers or corporate trainers or teachers, saying, I'm really stressed on what I've got to do next. And a lot of people have to move to online, and a lot of people that requires video. And unlike a lot of our kids who spend their life in front of videos making TikToks or whatever, most of us have not, and actually would prefer not to ever be online. So what I thought I'd do is just take you through some of the steps on deciding what technology to use and where to get started, and some tips on filming yourself. So here we go. So the first thing I just wanted to talk to you about is, before you actually start recording, some things you need to think about. So the first thing is, how are you going to film yourself? What technology are you going to use? And really, it's either going to be your phone, a camera, or a PC. So I just want to show you some things to be mindful of each of those. And in a moment, we'll talk about which is best for different types of styles. But with your phone, cannot stress enough, clean the lens. I have had so many people film and they've done a great job, and they get to the end and it's like a fog over the top of it, like a Vaseline was put on the lens. Just clean your lens, because we use them all the time for phones and other things. So at the moment, they should be very clean, but make sure you clean the lens. Put it in flight mode. We're about to start working at home around the world with a whole lot of people at home. And so we're going to be getting lots of phone calls. And put it in flight mode so that when we're filming, we're not interrupted. It's often best to film in landscape, which is this way, mainly for the viewing purpose. So when someone's looking at it, if you film this way, when they turn it round, they'll have black lines either side. So it's just doesn't matter if you don't do that, but it's just tends to be a preference. And when you're filming, put your phone somewhere. Look, I often lean it against a coffee cup. Put it somewhere that's going to be nice and stable, and because holding it will make it too shaky. A camera, if you've got a camera, great. Just make sure you know how to get it out of your camera into your PC to do something with. And the format that you probably want is MP4. But I'm really not going to go down jargon. I don't want you to feel uncomfortable and feel like you've got to learn a new world. Probably the phone is easier if you're not in that space. And finally, with a PC. And a PC is what I'm using for this style. Now, I would traditionally never do this kind of teaching. I would traditionally film myself and not necessarily have the PowerPoint. But if you do want to do something like this and you're filming from your PC, get a headset with a microphone, because that will make it much easier to record. In relation to your environment, is it quiet enough? Well, this is so important at the moment. I've got 2 teenagers now homeschooling. I've got a husband at home. We're all making loads of noise. So I'm having to really think about the time and place that I'm filming. So just be aware we're doing the best we can. None of us are in studios, but try and make it as quiet as possible when you're filming. Clear your computer screen of anything you don't want the world to see, or the background. All right. So make sure that when you're filming, your background is okay. You haven't got something there that shouldn't be. And you don't want your bank account details, for instance, up on your screen when you're filming. We've got our phone switched off. Is it light enough? Light is a really important part of video. So make sure that the environment's got enough light around it to be able to see clearly. And just practice. Just film yourself and have a go. And if you're filming yourself for a long time, make sure you have a drink around so that you can sort of keep yourself replenished throughout it. Now, what style do you film? There's really 3 ways we can film. We can go straight to camera, which is just you standing there talking. And if you're going to do that, you're probably going to best use a phone. A phone is, these days, phones have got the most incredible cameras, and you can pop your phone, put it up somewhere that's nice and stable, and you've got good light, and we'll talk about sound in a minute because that's critical, and that's probably the best way. The other 2 options is using something like this. I'm using Loom. Loom is a great piece of software. You can use Zoom. There's lots of different ones. Loom I find great to film if you wanted to go to PowerPoint. There's 2 styles with this. Now, you can either just film PowerPoint with an audio or PowerPoint with your face. My preference, as well as most learners tend to say, they prefer seeing a human being. But look, if you're not comfortable being in front of the camera, it's a really good way to dip your toe in the water. So you choose, but I'd be saying where you can, put your face in front of it and let the students see it, because it helps build a bit of rapport at this time when we're really sort of disengaged. Now, the next thing is, what are you going to deliver? So this is where I spend a bit of time thinking, what needs to be recorded and are there other ways I can engage with my audience? So I always say to people, you don't want a video more than 15 minutes. I mean, people can't barely watch TV without ads. They need something to break it up. So most people need something else to happen. So I would suggest think less is more. The analogy I always use with this kind of thing, I say to people, look, it's really easy if you're going on a holiday to pack all your clothes. It's not easy to pack just enough to go in hand luggage, actually what you need. So that's what you're thinking about in the video. What do I actually need in there? And then think about other ways that we can make. So you might be trying to put a workshop online at the moment. Pre-record the content that's really static. This is what you must know. And then maybe have some online interactions where the participants come in and talk live, so they feel a bit engaged. But a really good tip that I suggest is, if you're doing that sort of thing, do some follow-up videos that sort of say things like, it was great everyone talking yesterday in Zoom. Obviously, there's an issue with, and whatever that might be that you were discussing, and I'm just going to recap, this is how we're doing it, or this is what the key points I wanted to get across yesterday. So just keeping in that loop, you'll keep people a little bit more engaged. But once again, dip your toe in, do what you can handle, and we'll build up to this. This is all new to a lot of people. Now, we've done all that. Now we're going to record. I cannot stress enough. I have been working for the last 2 weeks with some very stressed people who are experts in what they do. And they are lecturers from key universities around the world. They're presenters, they're lecturers, there's teachers, there's consultants. And I keep saying, this is what you do. You are an expert. You are being forced to do it in a different way, but the content remains the same. So have some faith in that. And the technology is new and can be daunting. We're stressed anyhow because a lot's going on in our lives at the moment. It's not just work. We've got a lot to think about. But you can do this because you've done it many times. You're just doing it in a different way. Relax, go slowly, and speak loud enough when you're presenting. Now, here's my really big tip. Don't worry if you make mistakes. I've been making mistakes all through this, and I'm not going to edit them out. And I'll talk to you about editing. You can edit, but authenticity is really appreciated by students. It's real, it's engaging, and it's much more authentic and believable. And trust, you build trust through authenticity. So if any of you have got teenagers or kids, you'll know that they've learned how to play Fortnite from a 12-year-old who filmed themselves in a dark room playing Fortnite, and they make mistakes and their mum screams out dinner in the background. That's not the key thing. So authenticity is really good. So what is the key thing? It's content and audio. So your content has to be good. And that applies in any format that you deliver something. Your content has to be good. You have to know what you're talking about. You have to have designed it. You've got to have some sense of, I know, delivering something that's valuable. But I cannot stress enough, audio is everything in video. It's really hard. You cannot fix that afterwards. So spend some time playing around. And if that means, for me, I always use a headset. Spend some time just practicing. Is your microphone that's built in enough, or do you need to get a bit of a microphone? You don't have to spend a lot of money, but a microphone is really important. I wouldn't stress so much is the quality of the video, high production. Oh my goodness. I mean, look at this. This is hardly going to end up in the Channel 9 news. This is just, it's the content I hope you're finding useful, and I hope you can hear me. And then I do hope you can see me, because light is also a big part of video. So sound and light. So you're filming and you've made a mistake. The things I just want to say to you is, when you're filming, first of all, don't stress about being perfect. But if you do make a mistake, pause and then go back to the start of the sentence or the topic, whatever is most natural. So that's for two reasons. The pause is going to enable us, if we want to edit it, we'll be able to see where there's no sound. So we'll easily see the parts in the video. So when you put something into a video editor, you can see the audio and you'll be able to work that out. But also, if you stop and then start again mid-sentence, when you edit it, you've got to get the first part of the sentence and then where you cut it, and then you've got to merge it to the second part of the sentence, and it often just doesn't sound great. So just go back to the start of the sentence and keep going. So if you do keep making mistakes, don't worry, just stop yourself and get going again, and that'll give you a place that you can cut and paste. Another thing I just want you to know, if any of you haven't been working with video before, it's really, really heavy content. It's really large. It's large. So if you might know, you might have made a video in the past and you tried to email a video that was 2 minutes long and you couldn't. Video is really intense to work with. So you might say, I'm about to go and edit it, and it might take you 3 hours to upload it. So just be patient. And particularly right now, our internet around the world is going to be challenged like it's never been challenged before. So just be aware, if you're trying to get some videos ready for tomorrow, it might take a little bit of time to upload and be ready in whatever platform you might deliver it in. And if anyone does want to chat to me about different platforms, I'm more than happy to be contacted. But just be aware. So the last thing, that's me. Feel free to contact me. I feel like this is a time where L&D, anyone in this space, we can help with the things we've been doing. A lot of us have been building digital online learning for a long time, and I think any of the skills we can pass on to people who are very stressed and being forced to do things that right out of their comfort zone, I think it's great if we can help you. So all the best with it all, and very strange times at the moment. So everyone stay really safe and well.